I'm already seeing Halloween things in the story. It is crazy, but it's never too early for ghost story authors, right? Because I actually got to catch up with one, Jessa Dean, who wrote The Ghostly Tales of St. Augustine in St. Johns County. Watch if you dare.
It's adapted from an adult nonfiction book. And this whole series is done that way. They are existing books written by a lot of times tour guides or local journalists. And so what Arcadia, the publisher, has done is we're taking those existing books and that information and essentially translating it to be kid-friendly and fun. So it's a little bit of a challenge sometimes, because especially when you know a lot about the place you're writing about, because, you know, I might have done things a little differently, written about different places. So we strictly go from what they have, and then we put our own spin on it to make it fun for kids to read.
That's cool. So have you visited then some of the places, you know, to give your perspective through the book, I guess?
I have. Unfortunately, with pandemic, we couldn't visit, you know, currently, but I used to live in Jacksonville for a few years. And so I've been to many of the places I wrote about in St. Augustine and St. Johns County. And it was really exciting for me because Flagler College is one of my favorite cool buildings that I like to visit and check out. And so, you know, learning more about the history and the ghosts that reside there was fun.
I've always wanted to go on a ghost tour down there. What are some of the cool places that you have written about?
The first one was Savannah, which is one of my favorite cities to visit, and of course spooky cities to visit. And I have a novel I've been working on set there, so that it was fun to work in that world. I've also written about Sleepy Hollow, New York area, which was a lot of fun to write, obviously. And then Albuquerque, New Mexico, which I've actually never visited. So now I'm really looking forward to, once we can travel a little more freely, to going over there and visiting some of the places I wrote about.
What inspires you then to want to write this genre?
I've always been kind of fascinated with things we can't explain. My family actually has a haunted house, and there's probably been about like 30 or so people who have had experiences there, sometimes alone, sometimes together. I will not stay there by myself. I've had too many weird things happen.
Wow.
But ever since I was a kid, I've just really been fascinated with the other world that we can't see. And I used to sneak reading my mom's Stephen King books, and, you know, was reading Peter Straub and Dean Koontz and Clive Barker when I was in junior high. And so it's fun for me to write for kids, to give them more options. I was pretty mature intellectually when I was that age, but I wasn't really equipped to read things like I was reading.
Right.
But there just weren't as many options. Those kind of came along later with like Goosebumps and things like that. And so it's fun for me to write in that world, because kids love all the gory, you know, gross, scary, zombie ghost things. And, you know, they get really into it. And so that's fun for me to see them, you know, so excited about it.
It's funny that you brought up Goosebumps. That's what I was going to say. I grew up reading and watching those movies too, so that's fun. All right, so yeah, you've written other books as well. Where can people find more information or get your books?
Yeah, they can find me at my website, which is just jessadean.com. And on there I have buy links to different retailers. These books are on all the retailers. They're not probably going to find them in the store, except maybe a few locally. But they can be ordered from IndieBound or, you know, Barnes & Noble or Amazon.
Okay, great. Well, it was so nice to meet you. I'm gonna have to check out some of the places in the book.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. And if you'd like to see this segment again or get more information, go to firstcoastliving.net.
So what's really cool is I actually spoke with another author. You'll hear the story a little bit later. But they both adapted, you know, adult scary story books for children. So they had to take some gory things out. But I think that's really cool.